Hi, Andy XL back with my latest FIFA World Cup podcast. Day four we're into now, and four more games today for the start, which sees action in groups E and F. Starting with a football giant versus a newcomer minnow, Germany versus Curacao. Now, the old saying is never underestimate the Germans, and this incarnation of Das Boot, if you like, come into the competition on the back of 9 consecutive wins. They have plenty of experience at the back, but will look to young midfielders like Florian Wirtz and Jamal Musiala to create openings in attack for the likes of Leroy Sané and Kai Havertz. Not being talked of as one of the strong candidates to lift the trophy at the end of it, all takes some of the pressure off one of the traditional powerhouse nations to some extent. Unsurprisingly, a number of the Curacao squad play in the Dutch leagues, but not for the top teams in the Eredivisie. They just about won their qualification group, winning three of and drawing three of their six qualification games. Recent sound beatings by Scotland and Australia are not a good portent for them, though, and I hold out little hope for them here. Germany will cruise to a 3 or 4 nil win, as is how I see that one. So we move on to a far more competitive match in Netherlands versus Japan. Now, as I say, this one will be far more competitive as Group F gets underway. Netherlands may have gone unbeaten in qualifying, winning 6 of their 8 games, but for me, this is far from the greatest Dutch squad to go to a World Cup, and they're one of the reputational big names that are vulnerable in this competition, in my opinion. They have a number of very decent players, but I think lack elite talent in their prime that would be needed to go deep into this competition. Japan are dangerous opponents for the Dutch in this game. In their last 6 games, the Japanese have won them all, including defeating England at Wembley and also recording a win over another of this tournament's favourites in Brazil. They have had a squad that has come together like a club team to formulate a style of play that consistently delivers for them and certainly makes them a lot better than their individual levels. Not conceding forms the basis of their game plan, and then exploiting openings teams that overcommit on attack is what against teams that overcommit on attack is what they specialise in doing. And here comes the first big shock of the tournament as Japan beat the Dutch 1-0. In the last 4 tournaments, we've seen 10 major upsets from 64 opening round games. So this is the first of three we, on average, we might expect from the first 48 games of this tournament. So I'm taking the Japanese to rock the Dutch here. Um, so that's that one. Move on to Ivory Coast versus Ecuador. Winning this game will put one of these teams in a very strong position in terms of making it out of this group, as they will both be fancied to get another win against Curacao. Mentality wise, they may both see a draw here as suitable, as we saw in the Brazil Morocco game last night, given that they expect to beat Curacao and the other two expect to beat Haiti. Recent friendlies wins for the Ivorians over France, Scotland, and South Africa will have boosted their confidence after losing to Egypt in the quarterfinals of AFCON. But this is a squad that lacks the top talent of previous Cote d'Ivoire outfits that saw the likes of Didier Drogba, Yaya Toure, and Kolo Toure star for them. 6 draws in the last 10 games that have produced just 17 goals tell you how Ecuador may go about their task here. A defence that may well include Arsenal's Piero Hincapi, William Pacho of PSG, and former Brighton man now with AC Milan Pervis Estupinan give them good reason to lean on that defence to keep the opposition out. Chelsea's Moises Caicedo adds further solidity in midfield, but they lack a lot of talent on the offensive side of things. All of this indicates a tight, cagey game, likely to result in a draw that suits both, and I see this one finishing 0-0 or 1-1. Finally, today we'll have Sweden versus Tunisia. A modest Swedish squad in terms of defence and midfield, but with Liverpool's Alexander Isak and Arsenal's Victor Gyökeres available up front, it is no surprise they can be dangerous opponents, but are not being talked about as potential dark horse dangers to the better teams. They've not kept a clean sheet in their last 10 games, but have scored 11 in their last 6, so we can expect goals in the games they play in this tournament. For Tunisia, with the exception of young winger Khalil Ayari, who is at PSG, none of their squad has made it to anywhere near the top clubs in Europe and emerged from a soft qualification group to make it into this tournament. They went out of the last 16 of AFCON and really do not look likely to get out of this group that also contains the Netherlands and Japan. I'm going to take Sweden to win this, and I think they will have too much offensive power for the Tunisians. I'm going to take the Swedes to get off to a 3-1 winning start. So there you go, 5 minutes, 4 games done and dusted. That's my predictions for day four. Back with tomorrow. See you soon.